तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. The nectar of thy words revives the scorched spirit of human beings. They purify the sinner and are the life of the holy. To hear them itself is auspicious and peace generating. They are the real givers who spread thy name far and wide. Om. Welcome to the Friday scripture class, and today's scripture is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. In the Gospel, we are on the chapter entitled Advice to an Actor, recorded on May 25, 1884. May 24, 1884, exactly 141 years of today, almost exactly. So, Sri Ramakrishna had enjoyed the theater called Vidya Sundar Jatra, as they call, in the temple itself, in the Nath Mandir of the temple, and he appreciated the acting of the spirit, acting of the actors who acted particularly the role of the main person of the theater, the role of Vidya. So this actor had spiritual bent of mind. He did very well. And Sri Ramakrishna liked his nature, his spiritual bent of mind. And after doing the theater whole night, in the morning after some refreshment, they came to Sri Ramakrishna to say a bidu, to go home. Then they asked some questions, Sri Ramakrishna replied to them. And in that meeting, there were some other devotees also, and conversation was going on. So we are on page 430. It's almost in the middle of the page. Master to the devotees. I have heard a great deal about Buddha. He is one of the 10 incarnations of God. Brahman is immovable, immutable, inactive, and of the nature of consciousness. When a man merges his buddhi, his intelligence in bodha or consciousness, then he attains the knowledge of Brahman. He becomes Buddha, enlightened. Sri Ramakrishna describes the state of Buddhahood, that when a man merges his buddhi or intelligence in bodha or consciousness, then he attains the state of Buddha. That is called Buddha. When your buddhi is merged in consciousness, buddhi is the one which creates your ego. And when that buddhi is merged, ego is merged in consciousness, the absolute, then there is no separation, there is no limitation. You become unlimited, infinite, pure consciousness. And that is the attainment of Buddhahood. Buddha means that. When Buddha says, I am neither God nor ordinary human being, I have attained Buddhahood. I have attained Bodha. I am Buddha. That's what the Buddha means. When your wisdom has enlightened, you have become full of wisdom, not only knowledge of Brahman, but the wisdom by which you have merged your buddhi in the consciousness. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna describes so beautifully about Buddha. And he says Buddha is one of the 10 incarnations of God. In Hinduism, there are many descriptions of the number of incarnations. Somewhere it says there are 10 incarnations, somewhere 24 incarnations, somewhere infinite incarnations. And Sri Krishna also in the Gita did not limit the number of incarnation. He said, whenever there is need, I bring my forth by my power of my own Maya and assume a body. I get embodied and become a human being whenever needed. Not that only 10 times in a yuga, nothing like that. So that is what we see. There are, in our own knowledge, there are more than 10 avatars. It starts from Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrisimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Rama, Krishna, and ninth is Buddha. And tenth avatara, according to the 10 avatars, is Kalki, who is yet to come, yet to be embodied. So that is the 10 avatars. But more than 10 after the Buddha, we say Chaitanya Deva is avatar of God. He is an incarnation of Vishnu, where he manifested all the Sarashwarya, he manifested all charm, beauty, power, whatever God has six powers, Vairagya, Anasakti, all that is manifested in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was born about 500 years ago in 15th century. And after that, in Sri Ramakrishna also, it was found that he manifests all Sarashwarya, all that charm, beauty, knowledge, devotion, power to impart the spirituality to other just by look, by touch, or by wish. He could make other spiritually enlightened, spiritually advanced. So that power only incarnations of God have, who can change others by mere wish. So this power Sri Ramakrishna had, and we also believe that Sri Ramakrishna is also an incarnation of God, like Buddha, like Jesus. Of course, we don't confine avatars only to our Sanatana Dharma. Sri Krishna didn't confine that I am born in only in the realm of Sanatana Dharma. He said, whenever in the world there is need of such a power to come to protect the Dharma and from the increase of adharma, then I embody myself. And that when he says, we consider Jesus also one of the avatars of God, same incarnation of God, because he also had the same power. So like that, there are more innumerable avatars. So Sri Ramakrishna says, as mentioned in 10 avatars, Buddha is one of them, of the 10 avatars. So Buddha is the ninth avatar. And what is the 10th? 10th is Kalki, it is yet to come. And it is described in some Puranas that it will be riding on the horse and having sword, wielding a sword, and destroy all evil in the world and redeem the virtue in this world. So that paritranaya sadhunam dharma raksha pranarthaya sambhavami yuge ve. Dharma rakshanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So to protect the dharma, I embody myself forth. So that is Kalki, they say he will come. But Avatar has been coming in many forms, though it is not written in that Purana about Chaitanya, about Sri Ramakrishna, about Jesus. But if we consider logically, they are all nonetheless avatars than Krishna or Rama. They have the same power to change the humanity and save the humanity from the darkness of materialism. So, Sri Ramakrishna, after describing about the Buddhahood, it is merging of buddhi in the bodha or consciousness, one becomes Buddha. Bodha or consciousness is our infinite awareness. Buddhi is individualized awareness. And when the individuality merges in the infinity, that becomes Buddha. So Buddha is realization of Brahman, as you call Brahma Jnana Prapti, that are Atma Jnana, that is what is Buddha. Nanta is to say that the mind merges in the buddhi and the buddhi in bodha or consciousness. Nyangta was Sri Ramakrishna's guru, his sannyasa guru, who taught him Vedanta. And Sri Ramakrishna, keeping the tradition of Bengal, would not utter the name of guru. The guru's name was Totapuri. He would not say Totapuri or he would not say Tota, my guru Tota said that, but he would go less than speaking the name of Buddha, Guru, and he would say him as Nyangta, the naked one. That's what Sri Ramakrishna used to call his Guru as Nyangta, or the naked one. He used to say the mind merges in Buddhi. So mind is that which goes all around and tries to find this, understand this, seek this, desire that, remember that, all this desire, this whole thing of that fluctuation of our ideas, our wishes, our desires, that is whole together is called the mind. And that mind merges in the buddhi, where one is aware of what to think, what is right for me, what is wrong for me. So that decisive faculty of the mind is called buddhi. So mind which is distracted all around, which is seeking all enjoyment in the world, which is attached to the world and worldliness, it goes back to buddhi, where buddhi says all these are not the source of joy that mind seeks, and it confines to the buddhi, and it becomes one pointed. So it becomes merged in the buddhi. Now, buddhi, which is still individualized consciousness, in the buddhi is the individualized consciousness. That individuality of buddhi now merges in the infinity of bodha, and that is what is Brahma Jnana. That's how this Nyangta or Totapudi described about how one attains the realization of Advaita. First, gather the mind from all over wherever it is restricted and make it merge in the buddhi. Nothing you think, but your thought is one pointed. And that is buddhi is working. Mind that is distracted has all vanished and it has merged in the buddhi. Now, buddhi that is thinking of individuality, thinking of certain thought, now merge that in the bodha, in infinity. And that is the realization or bodha, that is called bodha, and that is attainment of the Buddhahood. Beautifully, Sri Ramakrishna described what Buddha said, I am awakened, I am Buddha. What does that mean? We can ask. Sri Ramakrishna's explanation is beautiful. Mind merged in buddhi, buddhi merged in bodha or consciousness, and one in who has experienced that has become Buddha. That was Buddha, has become Brahmagyani, Atmagyani, realized soul, whatever you call that. That's what the Buddhahood is. Buddha didn't describe about the Atmagyana or Brahmagyana. He said just I am Buddha. That is said. I am awakened. Now, whoever can understand what is that, that is the thing. But we never we had such type of explanation of what is I am Buddha. So here it's Sri Ramakrishna explains so beautifully, taking it from the clue from what his teacher taught, from where the Totapuri taught him. Now Sri Ramakrishna continues. The aspirant does not attain the knowledge of Brahman as long as he is conscious of his ego. The ego comes under one's control after one has obtained the knowledge of Brahman and seen God. Otherwise, the ego cannot be controlled. It is difficult to catch one's own shadow, but when the sun is overhead, the shadow is within a few inches of the body. Gives very good example. If a person has the shadow falling, wants to go and catch the head of the shadow, can he ever catch? He will run and the shadow would have gone further. He cannot catch the shadow. So it's not that shadow can never be caught at this noon when there is the head is very near, you can touch the shadow head of your own head when your shadow is very close to yourself because it's noon sun. Like that, ego is very difficult to control or abandon or obliterate. Very difficult. Only when one has Brahma Jnana, then ego is not there. Ego means individualized self. And Brahma Jnana is the self which is infinite, which considers itself as infinite consciousness, of which all the forms become his own self. There is no individualized self. Every individuality seems to be the appearance of that infinity. Infinity appears as individual. So Sri Ramakrishna beautifully described is that can that ego be controlled, obliterated, or abandoned? No, in waking state, whatever we try, it won't be. But when we merge our ego into buddhi and buddhi into bodha, then ego is not there. Then individuality is not there. Then I, that big I, infinite I is there. That I, which is one without a second. There is only the existence of that I. When that I, which is infinite, there is nothing else other than I. That is Brahman. When the I exists and you exist and he exists and she exists, then that I is ego, ahankara, individualized individualized consciousness in ideas. Consciousness cannot be individualized. But like yesterday on Wednesday, we were talking about Ghatakasha and Mahakasha. The Akasha or the space within the Ghata, within a earthen pot, and Akasha all around, the space all around. So it seems as if the space is divided and contained within the pot, as it were. The space within the pot thinks, I am this. I am not that other space which is within the other pot. Oh, that pot is just dented on one side. I am all round. I am good. I am better. That sky, that space is saying, I am that space which is so nice in looking. And I see this pot which surrounds me is so beautifully decorated. And that space is a ugly pot he had, and itself is dented. His shape is also not correct. Like that, this space thinks about that space. It's all individualized ego, individualized consciousness. And is the consciousness or space really individualized? No. When you break the earthen pot, what happens to the space inside? What happens? Nothing merging. Whatever it was that happened, nothing is merging. It was never separated. It felt that it is separated because of the earthen pot, because of the upadhi of this body and the sthula sarira, sukshma sarira. It thinks I am individual. But when that is gone, the sukshma sarira and sthula sarira gone, then Brahman is Brahman. It was just mistakenly thinking that way. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna beautifully says about ego. When it merges into bodha, then the ego can be controlled. Means there is no ego. Otherwise, there is no way to control ego. And Sri Ramakrishna says, one sees God. That God vision, God realization. By that, Sri Ramakrishna doesn't mean a vision of deity. Just raising your hand, Shiva comes to you, you say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and suddenly Shiva came in front of you. What's ask a boon of me, Mannat Mago. Shiva came and said, Mannat Mago. And the person says, Lord, I have heard this married life is very difficult, and I have heard people are in great trouble, and I've seen people, husband and wife, quarreling, and always there is conflict and friction and the worries, anxieties. Lord, don't make me married. I don't want to get married. Then Shiva says, Vatsa, मैंने तुमको मन्नत मांगने के लिए कहा, जन्नत मांगने के लिए नहीं. I asked you to ask something, not to ask heavenly peace in this worldly life. So that's what the God said. It's a joke. So that's what is God comes. And that is not God vision. Just you saw Sri Ramakrishna says, what is vision of God is when ego merges in infinity. Individuality merges in infinity. That is God realization. When Sri Ramakrishna had the first realization of Divine Mother, He was worshipping Divine Mother. He felt the he actually was trying to feel the mother breathing and all that, but that has not yet come. So he just was struggling whether mother is there or not, and his yearning to find the mother is a living entity went to such a degree. He thought that if there is no God, what is the use of having this body? If there is no infinity, what is the need of this individuality? That idea he had. If infinity and realize this individuality has no meaning. So he wanted to just finish his body. He brought one sword from hanging from the wall. That was Divine Mother's sword, Mother Kali's sword, and was going to cut his throat with that. He was in such a state of madness to see God. And then suddenly he fell down, unconscious. And what saw, he was all thinking of the Divine Mother and wanted to have the vision of Divine Mother. What he saw, a ocean of light coming in waves towards him. And really it came to him. It just drowned him, huge wave of the ocean of light, and drowned him, and he was in that state. He doesn't know what was there, what he saw. And after a long time, when he regained the consciousness, he just, people heard he was saying, Mother, Mother, Ma, Ma, and he gained the consciousness because he always thought of the Divine Mother. He didn't describe whether he saw the infinite realization or he saw the Divine Mother. He didn't say. But as he was repeating the Divine Mother, he was very eager to see the Divine Mother. Maybe the vision that he had, the peace that he experienced, peace that passeth understanding, that he experienced under this wave of the light of consciousness, that was the Divine Mother for him, the formless aspect of the Divine Mother. That he realized first. After that, his total life is totally changed. Now he was seeing Mother everywhere. He was seeing the image as living. He saw that image is breathing and image is eating. And he started seeing the Divine Mother manifested even in every human being, even in the cat. When the cat comes here, oh, Mother, you want to eat first, then I will offer to the Divine Mother in the deity. He started feeding the cat. Sometimes we are doing worship. Oh, Mother, you want me to eat first? Okay, I will eat first. The food what was to be offered to the Divine Mother, he started eating. No difference between his own self and the Divine Mother in the image. So that type of non-separateness with the deity, with the Ishta, had been experienced. But before that, he experienced the Mother in infinity, in that light, ocean of light. So he had that nirakara, nirvikara, merge the individuality in that. After that dual experience of God, that is Sri Ramakrishna. That's why he says, one sees God when ego merges in infinity. That is seeing God. That is realizing God, not just having the vision of Krishna or Vishnu coming in front of you. That is just the first stage of spiritual progress. You are seeing some deity that you are meditating upon. Now further you go and you realize that deity has other aspect, has the formless aspect, infinite aspect of the deity. So that is what is God realization in Sri Ramakrishna's explanation. And a devotee, what is the vision of God like? Very difficult question. How to explain what is meant by God realization or vision of God, Ishvara darshan, Atma Jnana? What does it mean? So in other places, Sri Ramakrishna would say, it is like tasting ghee. Ghee is clarified butter. So how will you explain the taste of clarified butter? No way. You cannot say it is sour, it is sweet, it is bitter. Nothing, no explanation matches its taste. Then how to explain the taste of the clarified butter? Ghee, how does ghee taste? Ghee tastes like ghee. You have to taste ghee, only then you understand what is the taste of ghee. They say taste of India, Amul butter. So like that, taste of ghee is eating ghee. Otherwise, you cannot explain the taste of ghee. But here Sri Ramakrishna tries to explain what is like God realization. Beautiful meaning. He says, Master, haven't you seen a theatrical performance? Thus, last night, previous night was the theatrical performance. The people are engaged in conversation. When suddenly the curtain goes up, then the entire mind of the audience is directed to the play. The people don't look at other things any longer. Samadhi is to go within oneself like that. When the curtain is rung down, people look around again. Just so, when the curtain of Maya falls, the mind becomes externalized. So, beautifully explained how is God realization. The mind distracted in everywhere, like in the theatrical performance or in cinema, movie hall, people are always talking. And in other place, he says about people have gathered in the feast and people are all talking together and then food is being distributed and people say bring here puri puri luchi, bring here luchi, sweet, bring here sweet, and all they're saying. And after all is fed and they are satisfied, now his belly is full, nothing is needed, and finally the yogurt is served. And after yogurt is served, they're all full, nothing more asking, everything is done. And then they eat the yogurt with the sound, nothing is heard, no more asking for any other food. And there is only sound of soup, soup, everybody is licking that yogurt from the plate, lip plate. And all other noise have subsided, only one noise. Aham Brahmasmi. That noise is coming. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, only that. And after that, after having full meal, what next? That's an off day, Sunday. Then they go to their houses, room, wherever they were, and nice rest. All quiet. Nobody is talking anything. That is what is God realization. Before that, they no, God is like Shiva. No, God is like Vishnu. No, God is like Jesus. All are fighting. Mother, God is Mother Kali. All are fighting with each other. There are a lot of skirmish. And after God realization, no sound. All are in agreement. They know what God is. No more quarrel in any way. All quiet. All are now sleeping after having a big meal. That is what the God realization is. And he gives example here of a theatrical performance. People are talking and suddenly light is off in the movie hall and movie has begun. Now all are focused to the movie. What is happening? Something story is building up. Some actor has come, play started, and something very serious thing has happened, and all are glued. What happens after that? No more talking with each other. All family member, the brother was talking with the father, with the brother was talking with another brother. Oh, this is there. This movie is very good. I've nothing saying now. All quiet, all glued to the screen. What is going to come? Quiet. Everything is gone. Only one focus. What is the next scene in the movie? In the theatrical performance, exactly like that. Now the screen has now fallen. The screen was hanging, it fell to the ground. Now theater has started. Music started, people, actors have come, dialogues are going on, all focused there. All other talks have stop. Anya vacho vimunchatha. All other talks have subsided, gone away. That is the sign of God realization. There's no more questioning, no more doubt. That's God here. It's all quiet. That's what Sri Ramakrishna said. But after the screen is down, then it is all drama going on. All are focused in one way. So is God realization. No more question, no more doubt. All have come to the conclusion of the reality. In Narada Bhakti Sutra also it is said, Yam ladva puman matto bhavati, tripto bhavati, atma ramo bhavati. By attaining, the human being becomes intoxicated. Stabdo bhavati. Yad gyatva stabdo bhavati. Matto bhavati stabdo bhavati atma ramo bhavati. By knowing the reality, one becomes intoxicated as it were. So much, no knowledge of the world. all filled with the knowledge of God. He has become intoxicated, not with marijuana. This intoxication is with the thought of God, much more degree higher than the marijuana or whatever cannabis nowadays they say here. It is much more degree. Once one drinking person came to Sri Ramakrishna, and his name was what was his name? Not Kedar. So Kalipada Ghosh. Kalipada Ghosh comes. His wife prayed for 12 years for his transformation and change. He got something from Holy Mother, some mantra, and he started praying. 12 long years she's going and praying, going on praying for the transformation or change in her husband. No change coming in 1 month, 1 year, no change, second year, no change. She didn't stop. She continually prayed for 12 years. After long 12 years of her sadhana, change did come. What was the change? He went to Sri Ramakrishna. That was the change. Now Sri Ramakrishna, he went, Sri Ramakrishna was coming from the temple, reeling as if he is in a great intoxication. So it was great scene for Kalipada to see someone so much intoxicated. He asked Sri Ramakrishna, you seem to be very intoxicated. Can you give me what you have found, you have drunk? Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, you will get it. I will give you this intoxication. Then he says, but I want the foreign thing. I don't want India. No, but what I have is very much Indian, but very intoxicating. And what could be that intoxicating alcohol made in this thing, India? He's all British, he was very drunkard. And then Sri Ramakrishna just touched him. This drunkard fellow, which never gave up drinking, the life, all money, health, are all gone. And he started crying, shedding tears. Life transformed, change came in his life. He found the reality of God. He found the joy of love of God. Suddenly, by the prayer of his wife, that has kindled. Now it came to the fruition. Then that was the change in that person. So, yallabdva puman matto bhavati becomes intoxicated, stabdho bhavati. He becomes quiet like a stone, as if something, a charm, no speaking, nothing there, so quiet. That is God realization. People, Buddha, when he came out from his bodhi, he couldn't speak for many days. He was just walking. After that, he started walking. He was stabda. Then he started walking. And then Mara came to him and said, oh, you got this bodhi. Now don't try to explain and pass the information about attaining the bodhihood, Buddhahood, because people will not understand. They will think you are mad. Keep quiet. Enjoy your state of bodhi. He said to Mara, no, I want to share with the world and make everyone reach the state of Bodha. That was Buddha's heart, attaining which he didn't only want to attain himself. He was like that person in the parable of Sri Ramakrishna. Few people were walking near a huge wall, and on the other side of the wall, beautiful music was coming, lot of merriment. So what is there going on other side of the wall? One person climbs the wall and he sees something on that side, so much of joy, and he just says, ha, 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 and jumps on that side without telling anything about the people who are walking together. He cannot control himself, he just jumps to be a part of joy. Another person says, what is going on? Why did he jump that way? He didn't tell us what is going on there. Then he climbs the wall, it was a high wall. He also sees wonderful thing going on there. He also doesn't say anything to these people who are walking together and jumps on that side. The third person comes and he also saw great merriment, great joy, which he had never experienced. He was going to jump, controls himself, gets down on the side where all are walking, and says, let us go, let us climb and go. He pulls them and says, lot of joy is there, and pulls them and let everyone go to that side in the joy, and last he jumps there. That is Buddha. Come, this is the way to joy, blessedness, Come, attain the Bodhihood, become a Buddha. It is possible to become Buddha for everyone. It doesn't need any caste, any preparation, anything. You need to have spiritual practice. Do this as I say, and you will be freed from all suffering of the world, suffering of having the human body, suffering of birth, old age, death, and disease. All you can conquer. You can conquer all the friction and conflicts in life, and doubt that burns your life, and you can become cool, and by attaining the knowledge of Brahman. Come, I'll tell you, there is suffering, no doubt. There is way to get rid of suffering, and to get rid of suffering, you have to do little practice, as I say. If you have sciatica pain, will it go? Will it remain always? So you go to physiotherapist, and they say, no, it will go. Just you have to do certain exercises that I say to you. You have to do 3 times. This is stretching, 5 times that is stretching. You stand that way, you turn backward, you lift your leg. Do this, and it will go away. Like that Buddha said. He lead a life of samyak vak, samyak vyayama, samyak vritti, and lead a life of good life of love, loving all, a ethical and moral life of don't hurt anyone, speak the truth, speak sweet, and practice concentration, practice meditation. One day you will attain Bodhi as I have attained. Is it possible? It is possible for every human being. You can get rid of suffering. You can get rid of the pain of sciatica. Just follow what physiotherapists say to you. If you don't follow, then you will never go. You will always suffer your life. Suffering never goes. Oh, someone said the physiotherapist, all they tell lies. They say do this and suffering will go. But my suffering didn't go. Did you practice, sir? Yes, I practiced. How many days? Oh, I practiced 3 days. Still, it didn't go. Then I became less lazy and I didn't practice. 3 days will not do. Till it goes away, you have to go on practicing. Then the sciatica pain will go. Like that, then the ignorance and suffering of this having the human body will go when you follow the Buddha. Everyone can attain the Bodhi, the bliss of realization of God in the language of Vedanta. So that's beautiful way that Sri Ramakrishna explains how all just become quiet, focused. All this talk about the world all finishes. You become all glued to what is going on in the theater. That is God realization. Everything is focused on that bliss, that joy, and all doubts and conflicts and desires to enjoy, all is gone, vanished. Nothing attracts to you except the love of God. That is the only attraction. Serving God. Now, how to serve God? That also they say, serve God by loving all human beings as your own person. That is what the God becomes most happy when you serve His children. Then that pleases God most. So let us go ahead. Samadhi is to go within oneself like that. When the curtain is rung down, people look around again. Just so, when the curtain of Maya falls, the mind becomes externalized. So again, this Maya may be seen. Now Maya is hidden because drama was going on. Now drama finished, curtain goes up, light is on, then all find that we are all sitting together. Oh, this theater was very nice. That role I liked very much. No, that role was not that good. That person roles are still better. What are you saying? You don't understand. What? You are saying I don't understand? Fight started. Maya started. Things from theater all came in the worldly thing. Like that, Maya will come back again even after seeing that, unless you are fully engrossed. Some movies are there, people are so much touched by some movies that they, after seeing that, they don't want to talk any other thing. They are so much full with the thoughts that is shown in the movie. People are so much moved by movies. I know one person, he saw one Hindi movie for 26th time going to in theater, and that person who saw 26th time in the theater is sitting among us. And how many times in now after getting your this internet and movie on the phone, I don't know this, you cannot count that, but 26 time in the movie. So that, like that, so much, how much full he would be. If you ask about him, Sole, did you see Sole? How did, like, oh, I thought so. Sorry, I told the movie also. So how did you like that? Then he will not explain, keep quiet. Oh, I'm that in that movie. What a wonderful acting, wonderful photography, wonderful, everything would be just perfect for that person. So like that, that happens. You all thinking of God. Nothing else matters to you when you are engrossed. And otherwise, you see God, you enjoy a little doing, singing a song, and few trickles of tear may come, and immediately you come to the world. Starts you scolding your children or your servant. What are you doing? You didn't fill the water nicely, you didn't clean the pot. All that thing may come again. If you are not fully engrossed, you again become very worldly. If you become full of that, what doesn't matter? It's little less loss. Let me wash it. After all, doesn't matter when you are fully engrossed in the love of God. All is excused, forgiven, doesn't matter at all. Oh, my daughter broke the glass, doesn't matter. Her finger is okay, it didn't cut, oh, that's fine. It was an expensive gift by someone, doesn't matter. Things are come and go. Swami Vivekananda said very nicely. All this, someone was cleaning his table, and an expensive fountain pen given by some Western devotee, it fell and broke. And he was very scared because Swamiji was such a great person, very strong, and he thought there will be great rebuke for me by my carelessness. I broke, and he said, Swamiji, a lot of mistake happened. I broke that pen, your pen made of stone given by someone. So Swamiji says, why do you worry? Those are to be broken like that, they die, they are destroyed that way. They don't get TB and cholera, they die that way. They break and they are destroyed. That is there. Don't worry. He was not attached at all with the thing. But that is what the person who is immersed in Brahmans does, like that. One who is very worldly, everything is important until it breaks from his or her own hand. Then nothing is there. Oh, it breaks. But if someone, that and I, whatever I do is forgivable. Whatever others do is all mistake, unpardonable mistake. Like that thing happens when we are worldly minded. I and you become so strong. When we are devoted to God, we becomes a real devotee of God. I and you becomes similar. This distinction becomes less and less. What I do, what you do, same. Whenever I did something wrong, I did forgive myself. Like that, I forgive that person. So that's what happens in a devotee of God. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says about that. To Narendra Banerjee, you have traveled a great deal. Tell us something about the sadhus. Narendra told the story of two yogis in Bhutan who used to drink daily a pound of the bitter juice of neem leaves. He had also visited the hermitage of a holy man on the bank of Narmada. At the sight of the Bengali Babu dressed in European clothes, the sadhu had remarked, he has a knife hidden under his clothes next to his belly. So, say something about the sadhu. What is to say about the sadhu? So, Thakur wanted something, sadhu's life, how he's detached, how he's loving God, how he loves everyone, how he gives the great teaching. But what he said, I have seen two sadhus in Bhutan who drink a pound of bitter juice daily. That is sadhu we saw. Whatever one has the eyes, that one, they might drink a pound of bitter juice we eat daily. But what about other thing of his life? What about other mind? He never tried to study. That itself was so otherworldly. Bitter juice made of neem, so bitter, I even cannot touch a drop. He drinks 1 2 pounds of that. So that itself is the greatness of the sadhu for that person. So, and what is the other? And I went to Narmada, and there the sadhu said he is dressed in European dress, and he says he hides a knife beside his belly. Why did Sadhu say that? Because he was not wearing Indian dress. He was wearing with European dress and going to the sadhu. Generally, when you go to the sadhu, you go in the simplest dress, not in your show off of dress. And European dress was the show off dress. And Europeans came to India with like a knife in their back, coming in this guise of traders. They came to conquer and loot India with as if they had a knife, and they really back stabbed the Indians and then got the power from them and ruled India for 200 years. Like that is that he has a knife in his beside his belly. Means like he is like European dressed, his mind is also European, he's British more than European. The British rulers, so he's comparing, Sadhu is comparing to that. And he's not proving a person going in the show off dress to see a sadhu. No humility. This was the sign of arrogance. Sri Ramakrishna says this dress has a lot to say about the mind. He says when one wears boots, generally in India people wear slippers. It is very hot. So people can't wear shoes and boots. Boots are invented, they came all with the Britishers. And he says when a person is wearing pant and boot, and climbing steps, he climbs jumping like the European and whistling like the European. So like that Sri Ramakrishna says, that the grace walking slowly, putting one step on other, it doesn't happen. He tries to imitate like the walking fast on the steps. So just by wearing the dress, if he is wearing dhoti, he cannot jump. He will stumble and fall. He has to be slowly careful that the dhoti doesn't entangle in his feet. So graceful walks gracefully, behavior is graceful. But dress is changed, his attitude is changed. So dress has a lot to speak about the mind of the person. It changes. Dress changes, idea changes. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna said about that. This Narendra Banerjee said about the sadhus. Master. One should keep pictures of holy men in one's room. That constantly quickens divine ideas. So, holy men, when you keep in a room, when you look at that, then somebody given their life for the realization of God. When one approaches and sees sadhus, that's what comes to mind. He has renounced everything. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, when you see a person wearing gerua, you should pay your obeisance, your pranam to them. Don't ask how advanced he is or what is great he has realized God or not. He has renounced the world. That itself is he has gone further. So pay your obeisance. We are attached to the world. He has been powerful or blessed to renounce the world. That itself is the greatness of that man. So sadhu, looking at sadhu, one thinks one can give up his attachment, his desires, his enjoyment, his freedom in the world, all to for the sake of God. So that person becomes to find the reality of God and sacrifice or renunciation in the name of God. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or some other saint, Sri Ramakrishna says he had Gerua dress. He put the Gerua dress on a donkey, and then to that donkey he prostrated just because of Gerua dress, which signifies renunciation. He was not prostrating to donkey itself, but to Gerua dress. I know of a monk of our order. He was president of our order. So he was going to our temple. It was summertime. So he put off his shoes outside and then he standed down below the stairs and climbed the stairs. It was very hot. Something he was to see. So it was so hot. So somebody wanted to put some cloth so that he can stand on the cloth. So one person had the Gerua chadar. He just put there. And so that Swamiji stands on that. Swamiji refused to stand on Gerua. He was a monk, representative of Sri Ramakrishna. He could easily stand on Gerua, but Gerua is to be respected, though he wore Gerua. But Gerua is something, a matter of respect. The very color is the color of renunciation, color for given of this whole life of enjoyment for the realization of God. He did not step on that Gerua. Seeing that, he took that sannyasi took that. There was one brahmachari. He just took off his white cloth and put it there. Swamiji stood on that white cloth. So that story I've heard from the brahmachari himself. He's now a sannyasi and head of a center in the West. So I related to this. He had forgotten that incident himself, but he had told me. I remember that. So like that, the respect for Gerua cloths, ochre robe. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says. You should keep the picture of the sadhus in your house. It quickens the desire for God in you. Constantly you see, and then it gives you a feed back towards the reality of God and unreality or the temporariness of the world. So, Banerjee, this Narendra Banerjee says, I have your picture in my room. Also, the picture of a sadhu living in the mountains, blowing on a piece of lighted charcoal in a bowl of hemp. So the sadhu is lighting the charcoal in the ball of a hemp. Sri Ramakrishna wanted such picture from him later on. He said, "Can you give me a picture of a monk who is smoking from pipe, pipe, and he's pulling the air from the pipe, and the pipe is glowing. The fire in the pipe is glowing." And that he is in different mood, just is smoking, but mind has gone to some higher levels, higher planes. Can you give me that picture of a sadhu? I want that. And the other he wanted was, there are two. Another was he wanted was the bird incubating eggs, which is looking outside but not really looking outside. Very internal vision, eyes are as if looking outside but thinking of all about her children that are growing in the egg and incubating that egg. Can you give me those two pictures? And M really had brought the picture, at least that picture which he made in his he made Kathamrita, the Gospel in Bengali, in his edition. That was the in his cover page for that picture, of a bird incubating her eggs, bird mother. That's Sri Ramakrishna wanted. So this person, I don't know if he knew that Sri Ramakrishna wanted such picture or not. And Sri Ramakrishna's picture were they're not common. That was not printed and not so much distributed. But somehow he had the picture of Sri Ramakrishna. Surprisingly, Pavahari Baba in Gazipur, who never traveled, someone gave him the picture of Sri Ramakrishna and he put it in his cave. He was underground basement. He used to stay with nobody could go there. He used to perform his homa there or his fire sacrifices there. And there he had the picture of Sri Ramakrishna. Someone must have given from. He was already known in Bengal, and someone must have given, or might have asked to someone, and he had heard that there is a saint in Bengal called Sri Ramakrishna. That was in his ashram also. And this Narendra Banerjee had also got Sri Ramakrishna's picture at that time. And this picture of a sadhu having the fire in the bowl, hubble bubble, that was also there. Master. It is true that one's spiritual feelings are awakened by looking at the picture of a sadhu. It is like being reminded of the custard apple by looking at an imitation one, or like stimulating the desire for enjoyment by looking at a young woman. Therefore, I tell you that you should constantly live in the company of holy men. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says. When you are with holy person who have renounced the world for realization of God or advanced soul in spirituality, that will kindle in you the worth of God realization and worthlessness of this world where we are attached. And it is like the holy man represents the path to God. It may be imitation, it may be something, but it will kindle something in our heart of this thing. If you don't have the holy company, keep picture of some holy person. That's why we keep in our house picture of our deities, Thakur Swamiji, or deity of God like Hanuman or Vishnu, Shiva, or whatever, whoever God, or some God, some holy man you like that. Um, Baba, what is that? Shirdi Sai or Sai Baba or Ramakrishna, or we often keep the photograph of our Guru that we feel that he is blessing, giving us blessing. He's there to hear to our problems. He knows our problems. That type of faith comes in by looking at the picture itself. That the power in Guru will protect me from the difficulties of our life. Once one devotee was praying to his guru, Swami Swami Atmasthanandaji, great karma yogi, and he came to Belur and said, Maharaj, I was praying to you in front of a picture. Could you understand that? Did it come my prayers and my wishes and all that? Did you hear those things? Then Swamiji told him, I am leaving here. You just come to me and say, what do you want to say? Why you have to say to my picture? So that was his reply, very wise reply to the person. So whether I heard that or not, but it is more of a feeling that he hears than what really he hears or not. If the Guru is the representation of Satchidananda Guru, so Guru will, that power of Satchidananda Guru will give the answer. That's what the Guru is. How an image of Guru who had refused to teach, who had refused to accept him as disciple, but he will not give up. He made the clay image of the Guru and started practicing arrows, shooting by arrows, and that person excelled the best archer of the world of that time. He excelled even Arjuna just by accepting the clay image of the Guru. And after that, one day that Guru comes, and Arjuna said, you told me I will be the best, no one will excel me. How is it? This seems to be excelling me. So Guru went there and saw his own statue. And whose statue is that? This is your statue, Guru. You fell at the ground. You are my Guru. So you accept me as the Guru? Of course, without your blessing, how could I be archer? So if I am a Guru, can you give me whatever Guru Dakshina? Surely, if you want my life, I'm ready to cut my head. I don't want your head, but I want very precious thing of you. I want your thumb of your right hand, so that you can't practice archery anymore. The disciple's name was Ekadabhya, and Guru's name was Dronacharya. He was bound by his word. Though he stopped that talented archer from practicing anymore, but that didn't take the name and fame of that archer, that Ekalabhya, from the mind of the people. For thousands of years, he has become immortal. He has become the greatest archer. He has excelled Arjuna, even though he didn't practice after that. So this excellence would never go after that. He had no other thing. And that, did he accept that Guru power worked on him? Or he thought he was practicing himself? There, Guru was nothing to say. Don't move that, practice that way. He was not guiding one after another, step by step. There was no guided archery, like guided meditation. So, did he believe that? Yes, he believed the blessing of the Guru, power of the Guru coming from that image. That's why he readily gave up his thumb. He stopped his being his archer without any trace of hesitation. He gave up whatever Guru wanted and felt himself blessed to be able to give Guru Dakshina whatever Guru wanted. And he wanted such a precious thing that I can practice archery no more. It didn't mind him. He ever remains the best archer of the world forever, even better than Arjuna himself. So that is what is the power of Guru, that we often keep the photograph in our houses, and that's blessing of the Guru is always is to us. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says: keep the photograph of the saints, Saint Gyaneswar, Namdev, or Guru Gobind Singh. You can keep the picture of or photos of any guru, and you give the blessing from that. Whenever you look, you find, see, look at the Guru Gobind Singh, you find all bravery. You look at Guru Nanak, you find all humility and love of God. Ek Omkar, there is nothing other than Om. Om is ultimate. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. Iti Om is the only substance of this universe from which the universe has sprung. So Om is the basis of this universe. Om is the Brahman. So that is what that Guru Nanak says. Ek Omkar. That is the reality. That all comes by seeing, just by looking at the picture. When you see the picture or image of Mahishasura Mardini or Durga, all evil can be conquered. There can be so much of strength and bravery in Divine Mother. She will vanquish all our problem. Mahishasura that gives trouble to us. The Mahishasura in the external world, more greater Mahishasura hiding in us. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Sandeha, Samsaya, all these are Rakshasas within us. And Divine Mother is loud. Mother, come, like that song that sings in our like Chandi of that Mahalaya, Virendra Krishna Bhadra. Mother, please wake up. The Mother, Divine Mother, wakes up and destroy all the Mahishasuras and other asuras in my heart in the form of fear, doubt, and all that. Devi rises and he vanquishes that. You gain the strength, you stand up straight, and you come to the world invigorized, powerful, strong, just by invoking the Divine Mother within you. Mahishasura comes. Look there, Mother comes here, invoke Mother, you become stronger. What is to be feared? Nothing to be feared and afraid of in the world. This life is going like that, and one day we all will die. Why to think of death at all? Someone sadhu said, it is what is our Anubhavananda. The one who thinks of death always afraid of death, he has already died. Don't think of death. Don't be afraid of death. Let it come when it wants to come. Just ignore it. Ignore the death. When it wants to come, okay, you may come anytime, whenever you like. That's what it comes. So why to be afraid of death? Death will come, but it will have its approach only to the body. Where is the real person caught in the death? It cannot catch the real person, real I. It is always free from death, greater than death. Great wants to catch it, it is so big it cannot catch. It is like Duryodhana trying to arrest Sri Krishna in the court. Sri Krishna becomes so big, Duryodhana cannot catch now. Like that is our Atman. So big, death fails to catch the Atman. Then what it catches? This mortal body, which was to go, made up of flesh, blood, and all those things. Take it. So it is happy with taking the mortal body. It says it died. So what died? I just gave it up. It was a worthless thing. I gave that sack of filth, and he said died. Then what happened to me? I became freed from the body. Now I will travel to other lokas. Let me go and see what is other lokas described in the Shastras. Surya Loka and Chandra Loka and Vidyul Loka. I'll be going to different Loka and then Brahma Loka. Then they said to the Ramakrishna devotee, they say Ramakrishna Loka. What is that Ramakrishna Loka? Let me go and see Ramakrishna Loka. We are always trying to see what is New Zealand, what is Australia, what is South Africa. We try to visit that. So these are the worldly things. Anyone can visit. Now I will go to Vidyul Loka, Chandra Loka, Brahma Loka. What a great tour! What a great travel! So I'll be a greater tourist when I give up this body, and I will be going to those places. Let us go and see. It's so much fun to give up this body and become free and travel to other lokas. And then if I wish to have another body, I will get a new body. Who wants to live in this old paining, suffering body? Sahitika pain. Who wants that? Okay, thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sridva Pranamami Muhurmu.